Hello, my dear students of class 10. This is Priyanka Upadhyay, a physics teacher, and today we are going to learn a second part from ICSE class 10 work, energy, and power. The second part is different forms of energy. In this, we are going to learn about mechanical energy and its different form. So, you already know that what is mechanical energy. See, the energy possessed by a body due to its state of rest or of motion is called the mechanical energy. Okay, the energy possessed by a body due to its state of rest or of motion. Maybe it is possessing the energy because of the state of rest or because of the motion. So that is called mechanical energy. In mechanical energy, we have two kinds of energy, that is potential energy and kinetic energy. So what is potential energy? The potential energy is the energy possessed by a body at rest. See here, it is a stored energy. Potential energy is a stored energy and it is possessed by a body at rest due to its position or size or shape. This is known as potential energy. For example, a stretched rubber band, okay, due to the change in the shape, due to its change in the size, it has some energy, and that energy is nothing but potential energy. Next one, a body placed at a height above the ground. Okay, if you place a body, if you place an object above some height, okay, and that body will be having some kind of energy, and that energy is known as potential energy. The energy which is stored in the body due to the position of the object. So that energy is known as potential energy. Next one, a wound up watch spring. When you wound a watch spring, the energy will be stored in the watch, and that energy is known as potential energy. Next one is compressed spring. If you take a spring and if you compress it, so some energy will be stored in the spring due to the change in the size and shape, and that energy is known as potential energy. Next one, forms of potential energy. In potential energy, we have two types. One is gravitational potential energy, that is due to its changed position, and next one is elastic potential energy, that is due to its change in size and shape. Okay students, so now we will learn about gravitational potential energy. See here, each body experience a force of attraction due to the earth, which is called as force due to gravity. Okay, so the potential energy possessed by the body due to the force of attraction of earth on it is known as gravitational potential energy. The potential energy possessed by the body due to the force of attraction of the earth on it is called gravitational potential energy. So how to understand this one? See here, take a stone and throw it at some height. So after reaching the highest point, the stone will be having potential energy, stored energy in it. Okay, and this is due to the force of attraction of earth on it, and that energy is known as gravitational potential energy. See here, the gravitational potential energy of a body is zero when it is at fine infinity, because the force of attraction of earth on the body is zero. The gravitational potential energy of a body at a point is the amount of work done by the force of attraction of earth in bringing that body from infinity to that point. See here, the gravitational potential energy is nothing but it is the energy of a body at that point is the amount of work done. You are doing work on a body and you are bringing that body from infinity to that point. Okay, Since work done by the force of gravity itself, so at finite distance what happens, the earth's gravitational potential of the gravitational potential energy of the body will become negative. Okay, so as the distance of a body from the surface of the earth increases, the force of attraction of earth decreases, and therefore the gravitational potential energy increases. Okay, so the next thing is elastic potential energy. Okay, elastic potential energy. See, when an external force is applied on non-rigid body, so you all know that what is non-rigid body. So non-rigid bodies, we can change their shape and size very easily. Okay, so non-rigid body, when you apply force on it, the non-rigid body gets deformed. Okay, so due to the deformed state, what happens, there will be a stored energy in that. So that energy is known as elastic potential energy. The potential energy possessed by a body in the deformed state due to change in its size and shape is known as elastic potential energy. Okay, see here, it is a amount of work done in changing the, it is the amount of work done in changing the size and shape of the body. See what we are doing, we are applying some force, okay, and we are deforming it. It is nothing but force into displacement, and that is nothing but the work done. So it is the amount of work done in changing the size and shape of the body. Okay, so here next thing comes gravitational potential energy at a height. So gravitational potential energy at a height will be equal to mgh. So a gravitational potential energy of a body at a height above the ground is measured by the amount of work done in lifting it from the ground to that height against the force of gravity. Okay, so what we are doing, it is the work done in lifting it up from the ground to that height against the force of gravity. Against the force of gravity, you are lifting the object. Okay, so now what will do, okay, let a body of mass m be lifted up, okay, from the ground to a vertical height h. The force required to lift the body must be equal to the force of gravity. Okay, so whatever the force which is required to lift the body will be equal to force of gravity. Therefore the work done in lifting the body to height h, we are lifting the body to height h, so work done will be equal to force into displacement. So work done is equal to, force is nothing but mass into acceleration due to gravity. Displacement is nothing but to the height h, we are lifting a body to the height h. Therefore work done will be equal to mgh. So the gravitational potential energy will be equal to mgh. As the height of the body from the ground increases, gravitational potential energy also increases. As the height of the body from the ground decreases, the gravitational potential energy also decreases. Okay. Next one, see here. When a body is thrown vertically upward, it goes up so that the height of the body from the ground increases. Hence, potential energy decreases. See here. When a body of mass m is taken up from height h1 to h2 above the ground level, when we take a body of mass m from height h1, initially it was at h1, we will take it to the height h2 above the ground level, where h2 is greater than h1. So in this case, the gain in potential energy, when you increase the height, what happens? The potential energy will be increased. So therefore, the gain in the potential energy will be equal to final potential energy of the body minus initial potential energy of the body. So the final potential energy of the body is mgh2 and the initial potential energy of the body is mgh1. So this will give you the gain in potential energy. Next one, so what we will do, if the body of mass m falls down from a height h. So in the second case, what is happening, the body is falling down, so it means height is decreasing from a height h1 to h2, where h1 is greater than h2. Initially it was at h1 and when it is falling down it comes to h2. So therefore the height is decreasing. When the height decreases, what happens, there will be a loss in the potential energy, because as we know, as the height increases the potential energy increases, as the height decreases the potential energy decreases. So therefore the loss in potential energy is nothing but mgh1 minus mgh2. This is at highest position. This is after some time. What happens? It will be mgh2. So the loss in the potential energy will be equal to mgh1 minus mgh2. Okay, students. So now we will study about kinetic energy. See here, the definition is the energy possessed by a body due to its state of motion is known as kinetic energy. So how to understand it? When bodies are in motion, when the object is in motion, so in that position, in motion, they possess some kind of energy, and that energy is known as kinetic energy. The energy possessed by a body due to its state of motion, due to its state of motion, there will be some kind of energy, and that energy is known as kinetic energy. For example, a fast moving stone. A fast moving stone, if you take, the moving stone will possess some kind of energy, and that energy is known as kinetic energy. Second one, car in motion. A car which is moving, which is in motion, has some amount of energy in it, and that energy is known as kinetic energy. A rolling ball, here also rolling ball, a ball is which is in motion. Okay, due to the motion it possesses some kind of energy, and that is known as kinetic energy. Okay, students, so now we will find the expression for kinetic energy. See, what is this kinetic energy? Kinetic energy possessed by a body, by a moving body, will be equal to the amount of work which the moving body can do before coming to rest. See, a body is moving, so before coming to rest, whatever the amount of work it has done, it will be equal to the kinetic energy possessed by the body. Okay, so for this, what we will do, consider a body of mass m, consider a body of mass m moving with a velocity v, which will be brought to rest by applying force F. See, here A be the uniform retardation produced by the force. See, body is moving, some kind of force is applied to bring it rest. Okay, so then it will be a retardation. So A will be the uniform retardation produced by the force, and the body travels distance yes before coming to rest. After applying the force, before coming to rest, it covers some distance, and that distance will be yes. So now what we have to do, retarding force. So we will find the retarding force. That retarding force will be equal to mass into retardation, that is m into a. Retardation is nothing but negative acceleration. So kinetic energy, what is kinetic energy? The kinetic energy will be equal to the work done by the retarding force into displacement. Okay, so work done by the retarding force is nothing but F into S. So therefore, the initial velocity of the object u will be v. Initially, it was having some kind of velocity, and finally, the final velocity, after some time it will become zero after the application of force. Then from the relation v square is equal to u square plus 2as. So we have here v is 0, so v square will be 0. Initial velocity will be equal to v, therefore u square is equal to v square minus 2as, as it is here minus because this acceleration is negative, that is retardation, negative acceleration, so therefore it is minus 2as. So s will, if you simplify this, s will be equal to v square divided by 2a. So if you substitute this value in equation number 2, okay, if you substitute the value of f and s in equation 2, you will get k is equal to f into s. This is equation 2. So f is m into a into s is v square divided by 2a. Okay, so a will cancel. So what you will get? 1 by 2 mv square. Okay, 1 by 2 mv square. So this is nothing but the expression for kinetic energy. The expression for kinetic energy is k is equal to half mv square. See here, by this expression, what will you understand? On doubling the velocity of motion of a body, what happens? The kinetic energy becomes 4 times. Okay, the kinetic energy of the body depends on the square of its velocity of motion. So when you double the velocity of motion of a body, the kinetic energy will become 4 times. Or we can say that faster moving objects possesses more kinetic energy, okay, than the slower moving objects of same mass. Mass will be same, but what happens? The faster moving object possesses more kinetic energy than the slow moving objects. Next we will study about relationship between kinetic energy and momentum. Okay, so momentum is mass into velocity. So we have already learned about momentum. So expression for it is P is equal to mv. So see here, let a body of mass m moving with a velocity v, then kinetic energy will be half mv square and momentum will be m into v. Okay, so what we will do? We will find the value of v from p is equal to mv. So v will be equal to p divided by m. Now substitute this v is equal to p divided by m in this equation. K is equal to half mv square. So what we will get? It is half m into v square is nothing but p square divided by m square. Okay, p square divided by m square. So m will cancel from here, m will cancel. So what remains is k is equal to p square divided by 2m, or p square is equal to 2 into m into k, or p is equal to root 2mk, or k is equal to p square divided by m. This is the relationship between kinetic energy and momentum of a body. Now, in this we have some cases. See here, light body of mass m and heavy body of mass m. If both have the same momentum, if both are possessing the same momentum, then what happens to the kinetic energy? The kinetic energy of the light body will be more than that of the heavy body. See here. So what we will do? We will take kinetic energy of light body divided by kinetic energy of heavy body. So kinetic energy of the light body will be equal to p square divided by 2m according to the relation. That is, and the kinetic energy of the heavy body will be p square divided by 2 into capital M. So this will be equal to, after cancellation, what will you get? You will get m divided by m, capital M divided by small m. See here, we know that the mass of this is having greater mass and this is having smaller mass. So therefore kinetic energy of light body is greater than kinetic energy of heavy body. Now case 2. If a light body A of mass m and heavy body of mass m, a heavy body B of mass m have the same kinetic energy, then heavy body will have more momentum than the light body. See here. So now we are finding momentum. So we need to use this equation, that is root 2mk divided by root 2mk. So you will get root m divided by m. So here also this m, that is mass of the heavy body, is greater than mass of the light body. Therefore momentum of the heavy body will be greater than the momentum of lighter body. That is, momentum of body B will be greater than momentum of body A. Next, we have work energy theorem. Okay. This theorem states that the work done by a force on moving body in the same direction is equal to the increase in its kinetic energy. See here, according to the work energy theorem, the work done by a force on moving body in the same direction is equal to the increase in the kinetic energy. When force is applied in the direction of motion of a body, it accelerates the motion, and thus there will be increase in the kinetic energy of the body. This increase in the kinetic energy of the body will be equal to work done by the force on the body. So this is known as work energy theorem. So according to work energy theorem, we know that what does it states? A force on a moving body in the same direction will be equal to increase in the kinetic energy. Because the force is applied in the same direction, therefore there will be an increase in the kinetic energy of the moving object. So now m be the mass of the body, u be the initial velocity of the body, and v will be the final velocity of the body, and a will be the acceleration produced in the body due to the applied force, and therefore there will be a displacement s. Okay. S will be the distance moved when the body changes from initial velocity to final velocity. Initially it was slow and it attained some velocity. Finally it has attained some velocity, and in that time it changes some distance, and that distance is s. So therefore we have the relation, what is that? Force is equal to mass into acceleration. So force is equal to m into a. So work done by this force is nothing but again force into displacement. So force, we know that F into S. That, sorry, work done is known as F into S. So from relation again we have V square is equal to U square plus 2as. So here S is equal to V square minus U square divided by 2a. So what we will do, we will substitute this value of S in this equation in work done. Okay, so work done is equal to, see here, work done is equal to F into V square minus U square divided by 2a. F into S, this is the value of S. Now F is nothing but m into a, mass into acceleration, into V square minus U square divided by 2a. Now if you cancel a, what remains here is half m into bracket v square minus u square. So W, work done, will be equal to half mv square minus half mu square. Mv square is nothing but final kinetic energy of the body. Mu square is nothing but initial kinetic energy of the body. Therefore, this work done on the body will be equal to increase in the kinetic energy. This is initial kinetic energy, this is final kinetic energy. So this difference gives you the increase in the kinetic energy of the body. Next, we will study about the forms of kinetic energy. Okay, so there are three forms of kinetic energy. First one is translational kinetic energy. Second one is rotational kinetic energy. Third one is vibrational kinetic energy. First one, the translational kinetic energy. Okay. The motion of a body in a straight line path is called as translational motion. And the kinetic energy of the body due to the motion in a straight line, the kinetic energy of the body due to the motion in the straight line. When a body is moving in a straight line, it possesses some energy, and that energy is known as translational kinetic energy. For example, a car moving in a straight line. When a car moves in a straight line, see, a object is moving in a straight line and it possesses some energy, and that is translational kinetic energy. Freely falling body. When a body falls freely from some height, what happens? It comes in a straight line. Okay, so that is also translational kinetic energy. This freely falling body possesses some kind of energy in it, and that energy is known as translational kinetic energy. Next one, rotational kinetic energy. If a body rotates about an axis, the motion is called the rotational motion. Okay, and the energy of the body due to the rotational motion is called rotational kinetic energy. Here also the body is in motion, rotational motion, therefore it possesses some kind of energy, and that is known as rotational kinetic energy. Okay, students, our first example is a spinning top. The spinning top possesses rotational kinetic energy because it is in the rotational motion about the axis. So in that motion, it possesses some energy, and that energy is known as rotational kinetic energy. Rotating wheel. A rotating wheel also produces rotational kinetic energy due to the rotation. Kinetic energy due to the rotation is known as rotational kinetic energy. Earth has huge amount of rotational kinetic energy. We all know that Earth revolves around its axis. Okay, it rotates around its axis. So what happens here? While rotating, it has huge amount of mass also, and due to that, it possesses kinetic energy. Due to the rotational motion, it possesses kinetic energy, and that kinetic energy is known as rotational kinetic energy. Now the third one is the kinetic energy of the body due to its vibration. See, vibrational motion, we all are familiar with the vibrational motion. Okay, so when the body moves to and fro about its mean position, we call that motion as vibrational motion, and therefore the kinetic energy of the body due to its vibrational motion is known as vibrational kinetic energy or vibrational energy. Okay, a vibrating body, example is a vibrating body always possesses vibrational kinetic energy. Okay, students, so now we will study about the conversion of potential energy into kinetic energy. So in this, we will learn how the potential energy is converting into kinetic energy. First one, a stone at a height. A stone at a height has the gravitational potential energy, which will be equal to the work done in moving the stone to that height against the force of gravity. Okay, so when the stone is made to fall on the nail, which is standing on the wooden piece, the nail begins to penetrate. Here, what happens? See, when the stone starts falling, its potential energy begins to change into the kinetic energy. A stone at a height possesses potential energy. As soon as it falls on the nail, the potential energy as soon as it starts falling, the potential energy changes into kinetic energy. The falling stone now has both potential and kinetic energy. At some height, it has potential energy also, and due to the motion, it has kinetic energy also. When the stone strikes the nail, what happens? It does work on the nail. When it strikes on the nail, it does work on the nail. Therefore, the kinetic energy of the stone changes into the kinetic energy of the nail. Okay, the kinetic energy of the stone will change into the kinetic energy of the nail. That is the reason the nail penetrates into the wooden block. Second one, the wound up watch spring. A wound-up watch spring has the elastic potential energy. It has spring and it has elastic potential energy in it, which will be equal to work done in bringing it to that state, that is wound-up state. As the spring unwinds itself, what happens? The stored potential energy will convert into the kinetic energy, and that kinetic energy is doing the work. Which work? It moves the hands of the watch. Therefore, here the potential energy changes into the kinetic energy of the hands. Third one, a string of a bow. When the string of a bow is pulled, some work is done which is stored in the deformed state. When the bow is pulled, it will be deformed and some energy will be stored in it. That is nothing but the elastic potential energy. When the energy is stored in this, what happens? On releasing the string to shoot arrow, the potential energy of the bow converts to the kinetic energy. Okay, and that kinetic energy will be given to that arrow. Therefore, the arrow moves. Last one, a compressed spring. See here. A compressed spring has the elastic potential energy. Okay, due to its compressed state. When it is compressed, it has elastic potential energy because there will be a change in the shape and size of the body. As soon as you leave your hand, what happens? That stored potential energy, elastic potential energy will be converted as the kinetic energy, due to which the spring comes to its original position. Okay, so now we will learn about different forms of energy. Okay, so we'll learn about different forms of energy. Listen here. So you already have learned forms of energy in heat chapter in class 9. I'll just go through the definition. So first one is solar energy. The solar energy is nothing but the energy radiated out by the sun. Okay, it is known as solar energy. Next one is heat energy, the energy released on burning coal, oil, wood or gas. When you burn something, okay, it produces heat, and that is nothing but heat energy. Next one, light energy. For it is a form of energy, what happens? In the presence of which other objects are seen. Okay. Next one is chemical energy. The energy possessed by the fossil fuels. Which are the fossil fuels? Petroleum, okay, petroleum gases. Okay, students, next one is chemical energy. See here, the energy possessed by the fossil fuels such as coal, petroleum and natural gas is known as chemical energy. These fuels contain chemical energy which is stored in them. Okay. When fuels are burnt, what happens? The chemical energy changes into heat and light energy. Next one is hydro energy. So what is hydro energy? The energy possessed by the fast moving water. The energy possessed by the fast moving water is known as hydro energy. Again, this hydro energy can be converted into electric energy. So next one is electric energy. See here, when two dry bodies are rubbed together, they get charged. Okay, when they get charged, what happens? There will be movement of electrons from one body to another body. So they possess electrical energy. We have studied about electrical energy also. When two bodies are rubbed together, what happens? Electrons transfer from one body to another body. So therefore there will be a creation or generation of charges. Okay, and those charges are responsible for the electrical energy. Next one is nuclear energy. The energy released due to the loss in mass during the process of nuclear fission and fusion is known as nuclear or atomic energy. Okay. Next one is geothermal energy. So what is geothermal energy? The energy released in nuclear disintegration in the interior of the earth gets stored in the deep inside the earth, and it is called as geothermal energy. See here, in class 9 also we have learned about geothermal energy. On earth we have some hot spots. Okay, from those hotspots we are getting some kinds of energy, and that energy is known as geothermal energy. Next one is wind energy. See, the energy possessed by the fast moving wind is known as wind energy. Sound energy. A vibrating body always it produces sound. So the energy which is obtained from the vibrating body is known as sound energy. Next one is magnetic energy. The energy possessed by a magnet due to which it can attract iron fillings, due to which it can attract magnetic materials, is known as magnetic energy. Okay, next one is mechanical energy. The energy possessed by a body due to its state of rest or of motion. As we have learned, what is mechanical energy? The energy possessed by a body due to its state of rest or of motion is known as mechanical energy. In mechanical energy, again we have two kinds. Those are kinetic energy and potential energy. So now we will learn about the conversion of one form of energy to another form. In this, the first one is mechanical energy to electrical energy. Okay, see here. Water will be stored in the water reservoir in the dams. Okay, the stored energy is known as mechanical energy, that is potential energy. As soon as the gates of the dam are open, so what happens, that stored energy, the water will flow due to the motion. What happens, the potential energy changes into kinetic energy. Okay, so due to the kinetic energy, due to the motion, it has some energy that is known as kinetic energy. So after that, what happens, it comes and falls on the turbines, and the turbines rotates. After that, it will be connected to the turbines, will be connected to the generators, and therefore electricity is generated. So this is mechanical to electrical. This is the conversion of mechanical energy to electrical energy. Next one, electrical energy to mechanical energy. See here, in an electric motor, what happens? Electric current is passed in a coil, okay, in a magnetic field. Torque acts on the coil due to which it rotates. The shaft attached to the coil also rotates with it. Therefore, the electric energy changes into mechanical energy in electrical motors. What happens? Electrical energy changes into mechanical energy. Next one, electrical energy to heat energy. In electrical appliances, we know that we have some of the appliances like heater, geyser, okay, toaster. Here what happens? The electrical energy converts into heat energy. Next one, okay students, so the next one is heat energy to electrical energy. So in thermocouple, okay, in thermocouple what happens, heat energy will be converted to electrical energy. So what is this thermocouple? A thermocouple is a sensor, okay, it is a device and which is used to measure the temperature. The thermocouples consisting of two wire legs which are made from different materials. So when the wire legs are welded together at one end, when we create a junction between them, what happens? Um, this junction in this junction, what happens? The temperature is measured. When the junction experiences a change in the temperature, when there will be a change in the temperature, this junction experiences a change in the temperature. So therefore voltage will be created. So this voltage can be interpreted using thermocouple, okay, to calculate the temperature. So the example for heat energy conversion of heat energy to electrical energy is thermocouple. Next one is electrical energy to sound energy. See here, we have devices like loudspeaker, okay. What happens? A loudspeaker, when it is in use, it receives electrical energy in the form of electrical signals, okay, from the microphone, and it changes it into sound energy. Even in electric bell also, what happens? The electrical energy is converted into sound energy. Next one, the sound energy to electrical energy. A microphone, okay, a microphone is an example for conversion of sound energy to electrical energy. What happens? It converts sound energy into electrical energy in the form of signals. Okay. So the next one is okay, electrical to chemical energy. In battery, what happens? The electric energy is converted into chemical energy. In cells and in batteries, what happens? Electrical energy will be converted into chemical energy. Okay, next one, chemical to electrical energy. So from electric cell, when the current is drawn, in secondary batteries, we have learned the chemical energy converts into electrical energy. In the beginning, the electrical energy will be converted into chemical energy, and when the battery is discharged, what happens? The chemical energy again, chemical energy converts into electrical energy. Next one, chemical energy to light energy. See, when candles are burned, matchstick is burnt. What happens? Lighten. So in this case, the chemical energy which is stored in the candle or which is stored in the matchstick will be converted into light energy. Next one is light energy to chemical energy. Okay, light energy to chemical energy. See, the light energy which we obtain from sun is absorbed by the green plants, okay. So they go under several processes, and they convert the light energy into chemical energy to prepare food. Next one, electrical energy to light energy. When the electric bulb glows on passing electric current, what happens? The electrical energy changes into heat energy and also light energy. Next one, light energy to electrical energy. In photoelectric cells, see here, in solar cells, in photoelectric cells, what happens? The light energy converts into electrical energy. Next one, heat energy into mechanical energy. Conversion of heat energy into mechanical energy. In engines, in steam engine, what happens? The heat energy of the steam changes into kinetic energy of the piston. Due to the steam, piston rotates. Okay, piston rotates. That is nothing but conversion of heat energy into mechanical energy. Next one, chemical energy to mechanical energy. When we burn gases like wood, coal, biogas, etc. So what happens? This chemical the energy in these things, that is wood, coal, and biogas, the chemicals, due to those chemicals, what happens? The chemical energy changes into heat energy. Next one, chemical energy to mechanical energy. The chemical energy of the petrol changes to mechanical energy. In vehicles, what happens? The petrol is a chemical. Okay, that petrol is responsible for the motion of the vehicle. That is chemical energy to mechanical energy. Next one, chemical and electrical energy to magnetic energy. While making electromagnet, what happens? Current is passed in a coil wound around a soft iron bar which gets magnetized. Thus, the electric energy changes into magnetic energy. Okay, in electromagnets, what happens? Electrical energy converts into magnetic energy. Next one, nuclear energy to electric energy. In nuclear reactors, what happens? The nuclear energy, okay, due to the nuclear fission and fusion, what happens? Nuclear energy will be converted into electric energy. Last one is mechanical energy to heat energy. See, when the water falls from height, the potential energy stored in the water at that height changes into kinetic energy. Okay, next, when it strikes the ground, the part of the kinetic energy of the water changes into heat energy, due to which temperature of the water rises. So this is the conversion of mechanical energy to heat energy. The moving parts of the machines get heated due to friction. So this is also the conversion of mechanical energy to heat energy. So the next part, that is part C, will be discussed in the next video. Thank you.